Bitcoin is pumping like crazy in the last few days and we are now steadily rising above the $88,000. In this video I will have a look at some interesting charts for Bitcoin and what we can expect for Bitcoin in the coming hours and days. A lot of bullish news is coming in for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs. We have a lot of interesting news because Michael Saylor is buying again and we also see a lot of money flowing out of the stock market. Later in the video I will also have a look at the two altcoins Vechain and Solana because they are also showing a lot of interesting price action. So please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because it will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, now let's dive right into the charts. So on the 1 hour time frame we can see that Bitcoin broke out of this huge range, and this horizontal range was the range to break out for Bitcoin. We broke this horizontal resistance. Now we're seeing a little bit of a retest, but we didn't retest its resistance all. So yeah, we're now seeing a continuation of the bullish uptrend. But however, keep in mind that we could also see a little bit of a retracement back to this level to retest its previous resistance as support. And that of course would be very healthy price action. And I'm still waiting for this retest to happen because my orders are already at this level and I'm going to along the market for Bitcoin around here. So for now, of course, it's looking very bullish and we are seeing this beautiful continuation to the top side, and Bitcoin is now trading steadily above the $88,000. So this is exactly what we want to see. And we could of course see the $90 hit today for Bitcoin. Yeah, this is looking very bullish. Eventually, when we came from these lows around the $75,000. So yeah, we're now inside of this huge bullish uptrend and this is looking very good for Bitcoin. So let me know in the comments, did you buy Bitcoin at below the $80,000 and are you still in profits right now? And yesterday we finally saw a huge inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs again. We saw a $381.3 million and that is of course very bullish. And this is, yeah, that could be the start of the next impulse to the top side because last year we saw a huge inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs and they decided the trend. So the trend is now that everyone is buying again and this looks very bullish, and especially we see a huge buy order for the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF. So yeah, as I'm always stating this cumulative inflow chart, we could also see a next spike to the top side and that we eventually come to this previous all-time high of the total inflow of $40.5 billion. Currently, we are at the $35 billion and almost at the $36 billion. So let's see what will happen for the rest of the week. If the rest of the week can be as bullish as yesterday, I think we will see the $90,000 very, very soon. And having a quick look at the Ethereum ETF, we can see another bearish day. And a lot of ETFs didn't buy or sell anything, but we can see that Grayscale was still selling. So eventually we saw an outflow of $25.4 million of the Ethereum ETF. So yeah, the Ethereum ETF is still acting slow and they are still seeing a lot of negative outflows. So let's see if they can turn things around this week. And zooming out to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin broke this huge resistance to the top side. We can see a lot of touch points here as the resistance and support. And finally we broke this resistance. We saw a lot of price interaction and we also saw a big price squeeze. But then Bitcoin decided to pump to the top side and we are now breaking above this huge resistance area. So as I'm saying, always keep in mind that we could also see a retest of this resistance to test it as support, and my orders are ready for Bitcoin at this level. And if Bitcoin is going to see a bullish retest, I'm going to long the market for Bitcoin, and then I'm going to aim for a higher target. So yeah, this horizontal level can be painted green now because it is turned into support, and this is exactly what we want to see, and these are the levels to gain for Bitcoin. But on the top side we can see another big interesting level unfolding for Bitcoin, and this is a huge resistance level, and this is the next big make or break level for Bitcoin to break. So of course, yeah, we could also see a little bit of a rejection coming into the market, as we already can see right here, and that we come back to this level to test this previous resistance as support, and then we can maybe see another continuation of the bullish uptrend because we came from this bear trend and now we're inside of this huge bullish uptrend. So this could of course be very bullish, and yeah, let's see if Bitcoin can break this level, and that will be around the $88,700. So this could all happen today, or we can maybe see a rejection. So I think likely we will see a bit of a rejection to create a bullish retest, and from here we can just continue the bullish uptrend. And this would be a very healthy price action actually. And yesterday, Michael Saylor announced that MicroStrategy has acquired another 6,556 Bitcoin for approximately $555.8 million at a average price of $84,785 per Bitcoin. So this is interesting to see, and this is a huge buy order, and I think this was causing the pump for on Monday morning. And we can see another green dot has been added to his portfolio strategy. And yeah, this is insane, of course. And he now owns a total of $47.62 billion in Bitcoin, and he's in a profit of 30.5%. So that is more than $11 billion. So of course, when the price of Bitcoin is going to rise, he will be the biggest investor in Bitcoin ever, and he is holding more than China and the US combined. So this is interesting to see, and I think he's not done buying anytime soon. So I think yeah, in the coming time, he will buy another huge stack of Bitcoin. And zooming all the way out to the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin came from this bear trend. Then we shifted into an uptrend. We saw higher highs and higher lows, and every time we saw a green line, it means that it was a bullish continuation. But now we are inside of this bearish trend. We are seeing a lower high and a lower low. So of course we want to again see a higher high and a higher low, and then we can add some green again to the chart. So for now, yeah, we can see a little bit of an higher high being created, but I want to see a bigger high, and I want to see a big confirmation of this new higher high, and then we can maybe turn things around and shift from a bearish trend into a huge bullish uptrend. So yeah, we want to see this happening, of course, very, very soon. But eventually this is actually a little bit of a bullish bias reversal pattern, and for instance, if we can create something like this, a higher high and probably a higher low, then we can see a continuation of the bullish uptrend, and then we can shift from bearish trend into an uptrend. So this is exactly what we are waiting for. And also, if we have a look at the RSI, we can see that we created a lower low on the chart, but a higher low on the RSI, which I've been talking about in the last weeks. And now we are seeing this bullish divergence playing out perfectly. So this was your indicator to become bullish on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, when a huge bullish divergence like this occurs, you can see the next spike to the top side is going to happen very soon after, just like we see now. So yeah, you could have been warned in my videos of last weeks, and we are now seeing a beautiful continuation of the bullish uptrend. And let's see if Bitcoin can also see a new higher high unfold in the coming hours and days. But the most important chart to look at is this falling wedge formation on the daily time frame. We saw multiple touch points here as resistance at this diagonal trend line, and on the lower side we saw multiple touch points as support. The Bitcoin price was getting squeezed into his apex. We are now seeing a beautiful bullish break. We retested this previous resistance a little bit as support, but not very clear. So we are now seeing a beautiful breakout, and the breakout has been confirmed, of course. But of course, yeah, we want to see that Bitcoin is also going to break above this huge resistance, and this is the big resistance to break for Bitcoin to become more bullish. So for now, we could also see a little bit of a rejection from this huge resistance area, because in the past we can see a lot of touch points here and a lot of price action. So of course, a lot of liquidity is at this level, and we could see a little bit of rejection to come all the way back to this previous resistance area to test it as support. And if Bitcoin comes back to this resistance area to test it as support, I'm going to enter the market at this bullish retest, and then we can aim for higher targets, because the breakout target of this formation will be confluent with the top side of the formation, and that will bring Bitcoin all the way back to the previous all-time high of $108,000. So this is the next big horizontal resistance to break for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So let's see what will happen. And yesterday we saw a huge outflow of the stock market, and $1.5 trillion was wiped out from the US stock market yesterday, and $60 billion was added to the crypto market. So this is how it all could start, and this is how Bitcoin eventually does, because we are seeing a decoupling of the price. And this means that the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq are dumping like crazy, but Bitcoin, of course, is pumping like crazy. So this is exactly what we want to see, because we are invested in crypto, of course. So yeah, this is how it all starts. And we also had some other interesting news, and that was that pro-Bitcoin Paul Atkins is officially sworn in as the new SEC chair. So of course we had Gary Gensler first, and now we have the first pro-Bitcoin SEC chair in the history ever. So I think crypto will have a very interesting place in the United States in the coming years. So yeah, this could all mean the start of the huge bull run phase in the 2025. So the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Vechain. We can see Vechain is inside of this huge falling wedge formation on the daily time frame, and we can see multiple touch points here on the lower side as support and on the high side as resistance. And yeah, last year we also saw a similar pattern unfolding. We finally saw a beautiful break to the top side, and now we are seeing the same unfolding for Vechain. So yeah, we also retested this previous resistance as support. So I think we will see a next spike to the top side very soon, and this is all, of course, also because Bitcoin could pump to the $100,000, and that could bring altcoins with it. So the top side of the formation will be confluent with a breakout target, and that will bring Vechain all the way back to the 7 cents. So this is interesting to see. And having a look at another interesting chart on the daily time frame, we saw this falling channel unfolding, and now we are breaking into the top side. We already retested this resistance as support, and now we are seeing a continuation of the bullish uptrend. So of course we are still inside of this bearish trend, but we want to see a higher high unfold, and after that we want to see a higher low, and then we can confirm the bullish uptrend, because we then shifted from this bearish trend into an uptrend. And then the next big resistance for Vechain will be around this level on the daily time frame, and it will be around the 4.3 cents. So yeah, this is the very interesting chart for Vechain. And of course, let me know in the comments, are you still bullish on Vechain? And yeah, what is your price prediction for Vechain in 2025? And the next altcoin to look at is Solana. We can see Solana inside of this falling wedge formation on the daily time frame, just like we saw on Vechain. We saw multiple touch points here on the top side as resistance, and on the lower side we saw multiple touch points as support. The price of Solana was getting squeezed into this apex, and now we are seeing a bullish break to the top side, and this bullish break is looking very clear. Of course, we need to break this huge resistance block to the top side, because this is where the liquidity is for Solana. So if Solana can make a new higher high and a new higher low, we can continue the bullish uptrend, because we were inside of this huge bearish trend on the daily time frame. And having a look at this other chart on the weekly time frame, we can see that Solana fell below this horizontal support level. We saw a little bit of a fake out, and now we're coming back above this level. So this is actually what is always happening, because we are seeing a huge liquidity grab, and now we're coming back above this support. So this is actually very strong for Solana, and let's see if Solana can now see more topside and eventually shift this bearish trend into an uptrend and come to a new all-time high, just like we saw here. So of course, yeah, Solana is still at the $139, and the previous all-time high was around the $261. So of course, this is almost a 2x from here. So let me know in the comments, do you still hold Solana in your portfolio, and what are your thoughts for Solana in the coming weeks? So again, please like the video if you think it was useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the description under this video, you can find the links to my free Telegram group and also to my Twitter channel, where I post a lot of daily content about crypto and of course other crypto related news. So with that being said, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.